conversation. Okay, Joy said I got it right. Thank you. I'm glad I did. Tonight we'll be discussing the dangers of overfamiliarity. So, 2 days ago, 3 days ago, I put out a post on my profile about on this topic. How overfamiliarity can make us to dishonor the kings that are in our lives. But that is only one side of the coin. I don't like to see only one side of a coin. I like to see the two sides. So we have kings in our lives and we are kings in some people's lives. Okay? And what this means is that overfamiliarity can come in any way. Overfamiliarity can come from you being too familiar with the people that you look up to, and you being too familiar with the people that are below you. Well, people that are looking up to you. Let me not say below you. People that are looking up to you. So what are the dangers of overfamiliarity, and how can you keep the honor that you have for the people that are looking up to you and people that you look up to, and how do you restore honor when you have lost it? Okay, so the first one, the dangers of overfamiliarity. The dangers of overfamiliarity. So are there people in your life that you used to really admire, used to look up to them, used to love them, used to wonder how they're able to do what they are doing? In fact, at some point, you even thought that they were not human beings. But then you were able to get the chance to get closer to them. You saw them in their most human elements. You saw, you are there and you see how their lives go, how their days go, and you see that these people are actually not too different from who you are, from you as a human being. And in the post that I put out 2 days ago, I told you that, see, that they are doing amazing things does not mean that they are not human beings. They have the very same biological processes that your body has. Okay, if you're a woman, that lady you look up to is also a woman. She menstruates the way you menstruate. If you're a man, that man you look up to is also a human being. All the biological processes that go on in your body also go on in his body. And that person, if they don't take their bath, they will have body odor the same way you would have body odor if you don't take your bath. If they don't brush, they're going to have mouth odor the same way you would have mouth odor if you don't brush. They are as human as anything. They are first human beings before they are any other thing that you see them as. They are first human beings before any ability and genius that you see them display. So sometimes a couple of us have had the privilege to get close, very close to the people that we honor, to the people that we really admire. And because we've gotten so close and we perceived their mouth odors, we have been tempted and sometimes falling to think that you're not any different. And so your honor for them just dropped. You see that, oh, this person even has anger issues. He is human being. She is a human being. They have their weaknesses. I have my weaknesses. You have your weaknesses. So it is even unfair for you to judge anyone as a demigod just because they are very good at what they do. You need to be able to separate people's abilities from their humanness. This is very important. So I put out a post before also where I told you that you have to be able to separate people's abilities and their personalities. Okay, and the context I said that was if you see someone that has a weakness or someone that has a bad attitude, it is very wrong for you to talk down on that person because the person has a bad attitude, or the person's bad attitude doesn't negate the fact that he or she is good at what they do. Okay, so let me bring it now to this conversation. We all have our sides, we all have our weaknesses. I have my weaknesses. All right. And the fact that I have a weakness doesn't make me um non-human. It actually makes me human. The fact that you've been able to see me in my most human element, the fact that you've been able to see a side of me that is not public, doesn't give you the doesn't give you the privilege or the guts and the right to start dishonoring me. I'm just using myself as an example because so many of you here on this live stream have dishonored the kings in your lives, the royalties in your lives, because you've gotten too close. It is very, very bad. Very, very bad. It is a danger that many people have been falling into, especially my generation. We get too familiar easily. We get too familiar easily to the point where we lose sight of the wonder that we once had for the people that are in our lives, or for the kings that are in our lives. I once told one of my mentors, I said, I don't ever want to lose this wonder that I have for you. I don't ever. And even though we are very, very close, like as close as anything you can think of, I am able to separate that closeness from his genius. I'm able to sit back and watch him teach. I'm able to wonder, I look at him in wonder, like, are you a human being? If you see if you see me listen to him and take notes when he's teaching, you will not even know that I know him at all. And in that post that I put out on Facebook 2 days ago, I said it takes a great deal of reverence and honor for you to see that person in their most human elements and still sit in wonder and watch as they uh, 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 express their genius. I'll take that again. It takes a great deal of reverence and honor for you to see someone at their most human elements, but still sit in wonder as they express and display their genius. So you're very close to your pastor, and you've seen your pastor in his most human elements. Maybe you've seen him dance, you've seen him play, make joke, crack jokes, and all that. And you're beginning to not see him as that person who God has put over you, as that shepherd that God has put over you. So, and this is also very common in marriage. You are married to a pastor, or you are married to a CEO. See, the fact that you are their spouse doesn't negate the fact that they are still the best at what they do. Your relationship with them does not strip them of their office. I need you to understand this. I'm still talking about the people that you look up to. I'm still coming to those who look up to you. Okay? So I'm going to use the example of Elisha and Elijah. Elisha served Elijah for a very long time. For a very, very long time. But Elisha never dishonored Elijah. He didn't he didn't get too familiar with Elijah. Because if he did, he wouldn't be following Elijah everywhere he went. And even when Elisha was to be taken away from him, he still followed him. He still followed him. And Elijah had to ask him, "What do you want?" He said, "Double portion of your anointing." That is honor. That is reverence. That is wonder and amazement. Double portion of your anointing. That is what I want. Even though he may have washed Elijah's underwears, even though he may have seen the stain on his armpits, on the armpit of his clothes, he didn't lose wonder. He didn't lose wonder for Elijah. He said, "My father, I want double portion of your anointing." Elijah told him what to do. Did he get that anointing? He did. He did. But now there is a twist. Elisha honored his master, got double portion of his anointing. Elisha has um, a servant, Gehazi, right? But Gehazi got too familiar with Elisha, his master. Gehazi, he got too familiar with Elijah. And that really dealt with him. Because why would your master reject a gift? And you had the guts, you had the effrontery, the confidence to go at his back to collect a portion of that gift. It is only familiarity that will make anyone do that. Only dishonor that will make anyone do that. Do you understand? Because if he revered Elisha the way Elisha revered Elijah, there is no way he would go at his back or go behind him and say yes to something he already said no to. There's no way. And I'm wondering how many of us on this session now, right here now, are the Gehazis in some masters' life, in some Elisha's lives? How many of you have abused the privileges given to you by the people that you used to look up to? Because that's what it is. You used to look up to them. You no longer look up to them. They are now common to you. They are now like every other person to you because you've seen them be humans. Because you've gotten too close, because you can perceive the smell from their mouths, because you can tell how their days go, because they gave you access and you are abusing it. How many of you are in this shoe? Overfamiliarity breeds contempt. This is a very popular quote. Overfamiliarity, it breeds contempt. It makes you to dishonor what you should be honoring. It makes you to disregard what you should be honoring. And this issue of disregard is very, very common and very dangerous at the same time. How do I mean? So you have there's someone that you used to look up to, right? This person is doing amazingly well. Like some of you would message me, I want you to be my mentor. If I now give you that access to mentor you, you'll start messing up. That's not where I'm going though. So there's someone that you used to look up to, or that you look up to. Let me just put it in the present. Let me hope that you've not messed up your chance. Okay? You used to look up to this person. You look up to this person, and for some reason, you found yourself in their circle, in their inner circle. Because you cannot get too familiar from a distance. You can only get very familiar and too familiar up close. So you found yourself in their inner circle. Okay? But here is what happened. Before you got close, you used to attend their workshops, you used to attend their seminars, you used to buy from them. So let's say it's a coach, okay? So you used to buy their books, buy their courses, buy their whatever they are selling, you used to buy because you saw them as this almighty. You found them valuable, you honored them. But now, what is going on? You've gotten too close to the point where you think that you are entitled to what they are giving out. Or you've gotten too close to the point where you don't even see what they are doing as a big deal anymore. Oh, goodness. This is dangerous. Very, very dangerous. So, my mentor, those of you that know him, John Obidi, I I'm usually the first person to buy whatever he is putting out. Yes. My closeness to him has not made me to mess up. has not made me to use words that are demeaning, has not made me to disregard the value that he brings to the table every single time. I don't ever tell him, "Hey, Daddy J.O., can I get access to this program?" If I need it, I try to get the money to pay for that program because that is honor. I understand the value that he brings to the table. I understand the power in his words. I honor the wisdom that he carries. I honor the grace of God upon his life. And far be it from me that I'll get to that point where I no longer regard his words. Now, this is a very personal example that I just used. May you never get to that point where you get too close, too familiar, that you no longer regard the value of the person you once held high in your heart, in your mind. So many of you are like, Chinaza Favour, Chinaza Favour, Chinaza Favour. If you get to know me well, if you get to know my story more, would you still regard me? Would you still honor me? I don't keep friends. I have just 2 friends or 3 friends in this whole world. And these are people that have known my story, but not for once have they disregarded me. Not for once have they had a program that they want me to attend as a guest, and they just tell me casually, Chinaza. If they told me casually, I wouldn't even mind. But these people will go the extra mile to send me an official email, even though we talk every day on WhatsApp. I might just finish chatting with one of them, even a video call, they will not tell me anything. They will go to my email, send to my official email, send me an official letter of invitation. And sometimes I'll be like, are you okay? We just finished talking and you're sending this. You could have just told me. He said, no, I'm not going to tell you like that. It is dishonorable. That is one of my friends. One of my closest friend. I would call her my best friend. I don't use best friend, but she's the closest lady in my life, the closest lady to me. But that honor, she does not joke with it. Do you understand? You must not allow your familiarity or your closeness to kings to strip you of your honor for them. Because whether or not you honor them, they are still honorable. They are still kings. They are still royalties. They are still ruling in their own kingdoms. So you are the one that is at a loss for not regarding their words anymore. A prophet is still a prophet, even whether his father's land accepts him or not. Those ones who honor the grace in his life are the ones who get the benefit. You can never gain any benefit from a grace or anyone you don't honor. You cannot. It's not possible. It's just not possible. It is simply not possible. You're calling your mentor dear. Are you serious? Let me move over to the next part. So this is the first one I talked about was overfamiliarity for the people that are above you. How about overfamiliarity for and with the people that are looking up to you? So for those of you that like being mentors, me, I don't take mentorship for now. For those of you who have people that look up to you that are in your care, you have gotten so familiar. You've gotten so familiar with them that you don't have boundaries anymore. You've gotten so familiar with the people that you are supposed to serve that you don't have boundaries anymore. You don't have emotional boundaries. You don't have sexual boundaries. You don't have physical boundaries. You have no boundaries whatsoever. So you are a man and a lady is under your care. But you've gotten so familiar, too close, that your emotions are now playing tricks on you. And this is not the Lord said, not even a lady. The people, the ladies that are under you are getting too emotionally attached to them. What is wrong with you? Where is your sense of duty and responsibility? You are getting too familiar, sir. If you're a woman, you're a lady here, and you have young ladies that are looking up to you, you must set boundaries. You must set boundaries. What kind of boundaries? Physical boundaries. It's important because if you don't, they will always want to break into your circle, break into your space. You must set mental boundaries. This is very, very important. Because you don't have boundaries, because you've gotten too familiar, you are abusing the privilege you have to shepherd the people under you, the sheep that God has put in your care. It has to stop. It has to stop. Overfamiliarity. Overfamiliarity. If I'm making sense, type in the comments, making sense. If I am making sense. You're supposed to be the shepherd, but you are beginning to see the sheep that God has placed in your care as appetizing. They look like what you should eat, they look like what you should consume. You are messing up your opportunities because these people that are looking up to you, they're going somewhere tomorrow and you don't know anyone's future. And if you shepherd them well, you'll get the returns later on. But if you don't, you only reap regret. You'll be like, had I known, I should have just played my part well. Over familiarity, don't let that be your weakness. Yes, we all have our weaknesses, but never allow over familiarity to be your weakness. Because many people have lost opportunities. This is one of the dangers of overfamiliarity. Losing opportunities that could have changed your life. Because you got too familiar to the people that were supposed to be your destiny helpers. And so you used words that you were not supposed to use, that they found disrespectful, or you began to, or you didn't honor them enough, you didn't regard them enough to take the opportunities they were sending your way. Meanwhile, someone on the other side took that opportunity and ran with it. It's a very serious problem. A very serious problem. You have lost relationships, you've lost opportunities, you've lost life changing opportunities because you just couldn't honor the people that were supposed to be your destiny helpers. Let a relationship be what it is. Let a mentorship relationship be what it is. Let any relationship be what it is. Don't mix your personal relationship with someone with what they are doing. Your father is a king, regardless of the fact that you are the princess. So I like to say that I am a princess, okay? Because I have this understanding that I am a child of God and my father is the king of the universe. Yes. And so when I pray, when I talk to God, you feel like I'm talking to my mate. But it has not removed that understanding that when my father says a word, it stands because the word of a king carries power. It has not changed my understanding that my father is king over the whole universe. And when a king is angry, nothing stands in his way. And so I respect myself. Even though I am a princess, even though I have access to him anytime, any day, I still respect myself in his presence. I still don't take his commands common. I don't commonize his royalty. Don't commonize the kings in your lives. Don't. Don't. As I'm talking, I need you to just start thinking of the kings that are in your lives. The kings that you have lost thought of. The kings that you have lost honor for and wonder for. I don't ever want to lose wonder for the kings in my life. If at any point I see myself getting too familiar to the point that I'm beginning to lose regard, I remind myself. Now, this is the last part of this conversation. I remind myself of why I honored them in the first place. Yes. So if it is someone that I'm beginning to lose regard for, I go back to watch his or her clips to remind myself of the why. Yes, Deborah, the why. I remind myself of that time when I would fold my hands and not move when they talk. What changed? I just got too close. I just got too familiar. And I cannot afford to get too familiar again. I take a look back at how it all started. How did I get in touch with this person? How did I even get to know about this person? How did I get in touch with him or her? And where did I miss it? Where did I miss it? Where did I lose sight of this wonder? So if there's any king in your life that you have lost honor for, walk back, go back memory lane. Think again, go and think again. Why did you honor them in the first place? Why did you regard them at all? What did they do that made you to want to associate with them? Yes. Was it the way they carried themselves? Was it the way they talked? Was it their wisdom? What is it that endeared them to you in the first place before you got too close? Before you saw them as human? Because every one of us is a human. Now, I needed to understand also that you are a human being and you are going to grow. Huh? Unless you don't intend to grow. You are going to grow. That is my prayer for you. I'm having these conversations because I want everyone in my circle of influence to be better, to grow. So you are going to grow. You're going to be a public figure tomorrow. You're going to be a force to reckon with. You're going to be a king in your industry. You're going to be a leading coach. Whatever it is that you're desiring, you're going to get big tomorrow. But will that stop you from being human? It doesn't change anything about you as a human being. And how would you feel if someone you tried to give access to for the person to become better and the person now turns to commonize you, to start thinking that you are in the same level? It's crazy. You need to grow. And this can also happen with your age mates. So I'm sure that some of you here are a lot older than me. I'm just 25. Okay? And I'm sure some of you here are my age mates. Some of you are younger than me. So honor has no age. It has no age. But usually also this disregard and contempt comes from people who are in the same age bracket as the person that they used to honor. And so when they become too familiar with it, they're like, what's so special? If that person that they used to honor gains a recognition of some sort, they're like, why not me? What is so special about this person or that person? And you've forgotten that you once desire to be in their shoes, but you just got too close and you're messing up. You need to stop. And some of you who are older will be like, I'm even older than her. So why is she getting all these opportunities? Look, honor. If you don't honor that person, you don't honor that grace. Look, so for those of you that are in church, if you don't celebrate that grace, you will not experience it. That is the truth. You can never get what you despise. A blessing that you despise cannot be yours. So remove that mindset of it could be me. Why is it not me? Let it not be you. Let it not be you. Please. So when you have lost that honor, remind yourself why you started. So there's this song by Hillsong that says, if ever I should lose my way, if ever I deny your grace, remind me of the price you paid. Then it says, until I see you face to face, until at last I've won my race, remind me you're not finished yet. Right? I'm basing on that remind. It's important for us to remind ourselves constantly why, of the whys in our lives, the whys of our journeys, the whys of the relationships we are keeping, the whys of the people that are in our lives. The why. Don't lose sight of it. It is the why that will keep you going. It is the why that will sustain you, sustain that relationship, so you don't mess it up. So you don't blow up a God sent relationship that could have changed your life forever, that can change your life forever. And the very last part of this conversation is that when you have lost honor and you've done something that made the person you used to honor to cut you off from their lives, what you have to do is to restore that honor and understand that they may not take you back again. Okay? They may not take you back again. That is the truth. You might want to try to um, get into their circles again, but you've messed it up. You have messed it up. So you would decide not to mess up next time. And most of the time, when these people have these kinds of experiences of people commonizing them or disrespecting them, disregarding them, they are not quick to open their hearts and open themselves for more relationships, especially from people that are lower that they want to help. So understand that if you dishonor someone and you mess a relationship up, it is not just you that suffers. You are messing up the chances of others to also gain access um to have the access that you have. Don't mess your chances and those of others coming after you. Because look, we are on a journey and we are passing. We are all channels through which every point in your life is a transition to another point. And if you pass there, someone else will pass. So don't burn this bridge. Don't mess things up for others. Don't blow up opportunities for others. In Dubai here, some houses are not given to Nigerians. No matter how rich you are and you want to pay for a house, the moment they might say, okay, we're going to give you a house, but the moment you bring out your details and you are Nigerian, they'll tell you, we are sorry, we don't give this house to Nigerians. We cannot lend our house. We cannot rent our house to you. We cannot sell our property to you. Why? Because some Nigerians had already messed up the chances of other Nigerians actually getting the kind of apartment that they want to get. So it's usually not about you. I keep saying it. The life you're living is not always about you. It's about the people that are coming after you in your journey. So make wise decisions now that you can. Honor the people that are in your life. Honor them. Honor them. Honor them. Don't get too close. Don't get so close that you lose sight of your wonder for them. So if you see that getting too close is going to make you to not honor them again, please keep your distance. It's fine. It's fine to keep your distance and still gain the benefits of knowing these people than getting too close and mess up your privilege, your chance. Okay? I didn't plan for this conversation to last a very long time. And that is where I'm going to end this conversation. Does anyone have any question? It's been long I took questions on honest conversations. So if you have any questions, please drop them in the comments. And once again, I'd like to say thank you to every one of you who joined. Thank you very much. I really, really appreciate you coming. Like you don't know how much this means to me. You have no idea. You have zero idea. Hmm. That even without any notification, any updates, you still showed up. You still showed up. You still showed up. Thank you for holding me to my words. And I told you, even if I didn't put out any notification, that you should know that we always have honest conversations here. Thank you for even trying to see if I am live here. Once I'm out of this live session, I'm going to really jump up and down because my day was already, I had a very long day, a very busy day, and then my phone got spoiled. So I was already feeling low, but I had to show up, right? That's what I always teach. Consistency, showing up even when you don't feel like it. And I'm very happy. And Jose said, "We love you." I love you too from the bottom of my heart. I love you too. Thank you very much. Have you liked this video? If you've not liked, click the like button. And if you've not subscribed to this channel, please subscribe. Okay? I always try to bring up valuable content for you, especially every Thursday. That's the times that I always show up on my YouTube. But you can, if this is your first time seeing Chinaza Favour, I am more active on my social media platforms, so you can follow me there. Okay? And Jose is saying, Favour Chidi, we love you, ma'am. I love you too. I love you too. Okay, and Jose is saying, I I should throw more light on mental boundaries. So what I mean by that is know why that relationship is existing in the first place. Okay? It is very important. That is why I said know your why. Know your why. Know your why. You must know the reason a relationship is the reason you have a relationship with that person. If it is someone that is higher up, understand why you are in this relationship with them. Now, when I say relationship, it doesn't always mean romantic relationship. Okay, we have different kinds of relationships. We have business relationship. We have mentorship relationships. We have platonic, and we have, of course, romantic relationships. So understand why you are in that relationship, and don't allow your mind to cross boundaries. Don't allow your mind to entertain thoughts that are not aligned with that relationship. Okay? So if you have a mentor that is of the opposite sex and you notice that you are beginning to get too familiar and your emotions are beginning to get in the way, especially if this person is married, please take a step back, okay? Work on your mindset. Remind yourself why you wanted this relationship. Remind yourself why you started. Remind yourself of the wonder you used to have for this person. And remind yourself that you cannot mess up. You don't have to make a physical move. It all starts in your mind. And if you can condition your mind to be in the right pace, in the right place, then every other thing is already taken care of. So set mental boundaries. If you have people that are below you, that are looking up to you, that you take care of, and you notice that your emotions and you know you are not able to control your emotions around them, male or female, please take your leave. Keep less communication. This is so that the relationship can be sustained. If not, you're going to blow things up. You're going to blow things up big time. I mean, big time. So know your why. Your why will always be your compass in life, in relationships. Know your why. All right. Which other one do I have here? I'm always scared of getting too close with people I honor because there's always that tendency. Yeah, there's always that tendency. But if you are disciplined, you can sustain a relationship even if you get close. Okay? You can sustain a relationship even if you get close. Me, I'm very close to the people I call mentor. We joke, we dance, but when it comes to business, when it comes to them displaying their genius, you will not even know that I knew them. Like it's like being a wife to a pastor, and even though you've seen this man naked, even though you've made love to this man, when he's preaching on the podium, you don't see him as your husband. You see him in his office as a pastor that he is. Because if you don't, you will not be able to get the blessings that comes out of his mouth to his congregation. Because when he preaches, when he ministers, you are one of his congregation, you're one of his audience. So if you get too familiar, is it not this man that I just had wild sex with last night? How is he doing that? You're getting too familiar. When he leaves that office, you can continue with your adventure, but in that moment, don't let over familiarity get in the way. You have a coach, powerful, superb, talented. See, regardless of your relationship with them, don't disregard their genius. That is where your blessings are. That is where you get the value that they have to bring. And if you get too familiar, you just be messing everything up, especially when they are displaying their genius. Okay? Let me see another comment here. Um, okay, Amarachi Ibokwe said, I joined this conversation for the first time and I got massive value. Thank you, Ma'am Chinaza, for showing up here regardless. Much love. Oh, oh, sis, I am so honored to read this from you. Thank you very, very much. Thank you. Thank you. I love you too. Favor Chidi is saying, don't entertain thoughts that are not in line with that relationship and always remind yourself of the why. Yes, yes. Ubong Eting is asking, what if you don't have any wrong intentions about your coach, but if anything comes up, what would be your response? I don't understand. Can you please rephrase this question? Because I don't want to stay here by 5 minutes to. Okay, actually, here it is 5 minutes, it's 10 minutes to 1 a.m. So I don't want to stay here by 9:55 Nigerian time. And Yolanda is saying a relationship can be sustained even though there is a level of friendship. Yes, of course. Ubong Etim, please rephrase your question and ask, okay? So I can answer them or answer it and we call it a night. Whew, I can't stop saying thank you. I can't stop saying thank you. And also, just before we check out, do you know it was over familiarity that made Queen Vashti to lose her royalty? Did you know? Queen Vashti, it was over familiarity. Her husband was King Ahasuerus or King Xerxes, like some translations call him, and she was invited to come because the king just loved the queen, okay, and thought she was the most beautiful lady in the whole of Medes and Persia. But he called the queen to come and show her beauty to his people, even though he was drunk, yeah, but he was still the king. Yeah, he's drunk. He's in his most human and weakest state, but he was still the king. And because he was still the king, even though he was drunk, his word still held true. In his anger, he had to strip Queen Vashti of her throne and her title and got another wife, which we know as Esther. But see, here is the interesting part. See, Queen Esther, right? She was the queen to King Xerxes, but she never got too familiar. Did you know that? She never got too familiar, even though she could have easily told the king what Haman was plotting. But she had to be wise about it. She had to even pray. She had to fast. She had to use her number six to get the king to listen to her. That is honor. Even though she was the king, the queen, and married to the king, but she didn't commonize him. She still had massive regard for him, and she did everything right. So, who are the kings in your life that you are commonizing? Stop. Okay? Stop. They are not, that attitude is not helping you. That disposition is not helping you. Remember your why. Yes, she held him in high esteem, very high esteem. Chido is saying, see finish is bad. Very, very bad. Dangerous, detrimental. Very, very bad. So don't see anybody finish, especially when you're looking up to them. Don't see them finish. Even if you see them naked, they are still kings. Huh? They are still kings. Now, this does not excuse stupidity or negative behavior, okay? But even though they are still human and have their weaknesses, they are still, that office cannot be taken away from them. That ability, that value that they have to bring to the table cannot be taken away or swapped for their human weaknesses. All right? So I just want you to hold on to that as you form relationships, you form alliances, you collaborate with people, you get access to people, and you know you get more connection to kings and queens and royalties. Hold them in high esteem because you will be royalty someday. If you are not one already, you'll be a king in your field, in your industry someday. And it's important that you keep your honor and your regard for yourself and for the people that are around you. Okay, Ubong 18, your your question is coming late. I don't want to stay here until 5 minutes to 10. So thank you everyone for coming around. I love you and I'll see you next Thursday. Okay? All right, so let me just have mercy and reply. If you respect all your coach, you take them as your own beloved coach. Perhaps anything happens or your coach misunderstood you in any way or went the extra mile, what can we do? I'm really trying to understand this question, but that is why you have to be very careful with your words, with your choice of words. Okay? Be very, very careful with your choice of words. Yes. Mind the kind of words you use on your coaches, on the people that you revere. Okay? Be very careful. Be very careful. If you're not sure, if you don't think, if you're not sure if this will come out well, don't use it. If you're not sure, don't use it. Use the words that you are sure that are generally acceptable. Okay? And don't try to break in and get into circles. Let it happen naturally. If they give you access, fine. If they don't, let it be. Okay, stop forcing yourself into places where you are not wanted at that time yet. Okay? So please pay attention. Yes, your choice of words matter. It matters a lot. You might not mean it, but the way it came out was wrong. Could be wrong. And they misunderstood you and blocked you, possibly. So you have to spend the rest of your life or the rest of that month explaining and explaining that you didn't mean it that way. Not all of them will have the patience to listen to you. So pay attention to your choice of words. If you're not sure that this word is going to sound so well, let it be. Leave it. Okay? I love and respect all of you, and I hope you have a very wonderful night rest today. I'll see you next Thursday where we can have another honest conversation. There's okay. Next week, Thursday, honest conversations will not hold, okay? Because I will be unable to stream live anyway. I won't be able to come on live at all. So we either have honest conversations on a Wednesday or on Friday. So you let me know in the comments what day you'd prefer us to have honest conversations next week, Wednesday or Friday, because Thursday is not possible. Like no matter what I try or how I'll try, next week Thursday will be impossible for me to come on live. So drop it in the comments. Are we going to have honest conversations next Thursday? Okay, Chido is saying Friday. Okay. Brojo says Friday. Favor says Wednesday. Now we have two options. Okay, three Fridays, one Wednesday. Any other person voting? Anyone you choose is fine by me though. Any other one? Friday. Okay, so Friday it is then. We are having. Okay, the Fridays have it. You have it. No problem. We are meeting next week Friday by 9 p.m. for another honest conversations with Chinaza Favour. I hope then that we'll have flyers and there will be more updates on what we'll be discussing before then or on Friday unfailingly. So thank you for being here. I love you. I appreciate you. And I'm honored that you're here. Please have a wonderful night rest, as I said before. And I'll see you next week. All right? Bye.